What's going on, everybody? I hope you had a wonderful holiday. Happy New Year. But it's now 2019, and 2019 is the year of the new car for me. And January is pretty much going to be the month of test drives. So I'm excited for all of that. And before we get into all of that and what I'm really looking at right now, because I may or may not get rid of the WRX, we might buy an additional car. We'll see. But before we get into that, let's go hop in the car, go for a ride, talk about any updates on my car. Probably be quick, there's not a ton, and I would like to save any of the big update for 5 years anyway. What do you say? Yeah? Let's go for a drive. That cold start still sounds good. All right, so 4.5 years, which is crazy. I can't believe I've had this car for 4.5 years. It's been a lot of fun. I actually still like the car. I'm just kind of looking for something else, something new. I want to try something maybe a little different. But we'll get into that in a second. Let's talk about the car itself. No real big update. I mean, it's been pretty much fine. I've had, let's see, brakes put on I think a year ago, which I think I told you guys about. A year ago, I do want to talk about, so a year ago I talked about the clutch being a little iffy, and I currently have 67,000 miles on this car. Now, it happened in the winter and when it was cold, and it's winter and cold again, and I realized that it's actually just been pretty much fine. I kind of just slightly adjusted how I was releasing the clutch in first gear on hills when it was cold, because that's when it really happened. And I'm just being, I think, a little more conservative with that clutch release. And it's been pretty much fine. So I don't really have any issues with the clutch at all. So yeah, no real problems with the clutch. I don't know, I haven't been paying attention to where people have been replacing the clutch on this car, how many miles. Being not even 5 years old yet, I don't know how many miles people have racked up. But I haven't really looked and researched, but 67,000 miles, I feel like that's decent. I feel like it should go longer, but we'll see. It all depends on how you drive and everything, but it's been fine. So no real complaints there anymore after I kind of readjusted how I was releasing the clutch in cold weather on hills. So like I said, I did brakes a year ago, so that's been fine. And I've had no real other issues. I'm still just running the normal stage 1 tune with intake and exhaust. No problems in any of those departments. I guess the only thing that just came to my mind that I can mention is that this has been going on, I've probably said this for 3 years now, is that every winter when it gets really cold, my check engine light comes on for like a few days and then goes away on its own. And I think the first 2 winters I brought into Subaru and they were like, oh, it's like nothing, I don't know. I forget exactly what they said. I think one of the times I went there, it actually went off on the way there, but they checked it out one time. I don't know if they cleared the code or what they did. But every winter it happens, and it happened a couple weeks ago. Came on right when it got really cold out, and then lasted for a few days and went away. So I guess I don't even bother with it anymore. I checked it a long time ago with one of my OBD2 Bluetooth sensors I have, or Bluetooth adapters, and I don't really remember what it said, but I don't know. I don't know what that is. If anybody else had that problem, let me know, but I don't know what it is. All right, there's really nothing else I can think about this car because it's been pretty much fine. So I want to get into the new car. Now, I made a video a few months ago about what I was looking for. Since then, I've kind of narrowed it down to some things. I shouldn't say narrowed it down because this isn't what I'm for sure buying, these cars, but this is definitely my short list, and there's things that can be added. But let me give you the time frame real quick. I want to get a car this spring, something new. I don't have to replace this car. It can be in addition to this car. If I buy in addition to this car, I'd like to keep it probably under $25,000. If I have 2 cars, it'd be under $25,000 for the new purchase. This would be more of a winter car, even though I live in Cincinnati and the winters really aren't bad here. I put snow tires on them, but they're not bad at all. But it would be more of a winter car. I'm sure I'd take it out in the summer a little bit. But if I did an additional car, it'd be a very sporty car because this can do all the practicality stuff that I need. So I would get something like an FRS or BRZ or 86, or just something not practical would be perfectly fine. What I'm leaning towards, well, a couple things I'm looking at, if I do an addition car, would be an 86 platform car. something preferably rear-wheel drive and manual. And rear-wheel drive also is something I really want in that edition car, because I've never had a rear-wheel drive car. And I would like to experience exactly just all the dynamics of a rear-wheel drive car and what you can, just how different it feels. I want a new experience like that. So 86, and there's one other car I'm looking at for an edition car, and I don't want to mention it yet because it's actually something that I never see around, and I think people just don't really buy anymore. And I don't really want to spoil it, because if it is, I think it's something really exciting and be a cool surprise, and I don't think anybody would guess it. So I'm not going to mention that. When I get a new car, if it's not that, I'll let you know what I was thinking about, but I don't want to mention that yet. But that's what I'm looking at there. All right, option 2. Get rid of this car, replace it with one car. And for that one car, it has to do everything. But again, being in Cincy, I think I could still get a pretty sporty car, even if it's a rear-wheel drive only. Snow tires on it, winter would be fine. We don't really get that much snow or anything in Cincinnati in the winters. But one car that can do a lot of stuff, hopefully, and, well, one of the cars I'm going to mention doesn't seem that practical. Bear with me. One car under $50,000, that's really like a hard cap. Now, what am I looking at? First thing I want to drive, but I can't find freaking any in Cincinnati. I'm still looking for it. And I'm going to drive it this month if I can find one. I need to call around. I've only been looking online. Is the Genesis G70 Twin Turbo V6. That car has gotten phenomenal reviews. Motor Trend named it their car of the year. And it just looks awesome. And I think it's like 365, 375 horsepower, something around there. It sucks that you can't get in a manual unless you drop down to the 2-liter turbo, which I don't want. But I've heard it's a pretty decent automatic. If I have to get an automatic, I'll get one. Prefer not. But that car is really on my short list. I was thinking about a Stinger before, but after reading tons of reviews, the Stinger is a lot heavier. Not a lot heavier. I think it's a few hundred pounds heavier. Much more of a touring car. Not really set up to be sporty and have that more of a stiff suspension that I like, where it's just handles corners and handles way better. But the G70 is really competing with the 3 Series, and apparently it's a very great driving car, especially it's just very nimble. And a lot lighter than the Stinger. So that is one of the cars that's really on my short list. Second car on my list, Toyota Supra. The biggest factor of Toyota Supra is pricing. The Z4, which it's being co-developed, it was co-developed with BMW. I believe they announced a base price, completely base price, like nothing on it, of $50,000. Toyota hopefully will offer it cheaper, which I'm hoping maybe, this is being optimistic. I don't think it'll be 40 grand base, but that's what I would hope. Something around there. It'll probably be more like 45 grand base. But I'm not getting the 4-cylinder. I want the straight 6 turbo. So, where that price comes in is a big determining factor of being a car I might get. And that is something I'm really, really interested in. We're about a week and a half away from its official debut at the Detroit Auto Show. Toyota of Germany leaked pictures of the Supra on accident about, I think, a week ago. So we know what it looks like, and we kind of have, but the official reveal and hopefully pricing will come out in about a week and a half, and I'll really know if that will stay on the short list or not, because that is something I'm extremely interested in, and I think it'd be awesome to make videos on that car too. Then the last car, it's on my short list, but I'm still considering others. If I was going to do one car only, would be the BMW M240i, or M240i, M240, whatever it's called. That's still a turbo 6, making 300, maybe low 300 horsepower, and I believe you can still get in a manual too. So that's something, and I've heard it has great dynamics, and that's something that I think I would love to drive. One thing that I think I didn't mention in the last video that I want to mention now is I'm not really interested in a muscle car, which would actually fit a lot of things that I want. Nothing against muscle cars, they're great cars. It's just not for me, it's not my style. I'm not really into the muscle car thing. So unfortunately, all 3 of those are going to be off my list for what I want to buy. So anyway, that's about it, guys. When it comes to WRX updates, like I said, there's not much. I will do a much bigger 5-year, with the WRX video, which is coming up in June. If I don't have the car then, if I do trade it in before that, if I do the solo car thing where I trade this in or get rid of it, I will be sure to do a final update with this car, which will be almost 5 years. But I plan on buying this spring, and I'm gonna be test driving stuff this month, and I'm really excited for it because it's been almost 5 years since I got a new car. And I know there's some new cars on that list that I might buy, and I am maybe slightly biased to new cars, especially if I do the one car only thing. Just because I do like warranties, but more importantly, and the biggest thing for me, is I like to use my dollar to speak to something. And what I mean by that is when you buy a used car, if I buy a used 86 chassis, I'm not telling Subaru or Toyota, who make that car, that I want more sports cars in my life, because the dollar's not going to them directly. And with the whole CUV craze and cars are just getting axed everywhere, and sport cars seem to be going away too, I actually do kind of want to speak with my dollar and buy a sports car new that says, hey, Toyota or BMW or Genesis, Hyundai, I like sports cars. And I like new sports cars, and I like when you make them. So I do like the fact that I can speak with my dollar there. So I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but I may still buy used. I have no idea. Anyway, ranting again. Thanks as always. Stay tuned, because there's going to be test drives. There's going to be cool stuff to talk about. And I'll probably be posting, I'm sure, pictures of anything I'm test driving on my Instagram, if you want to check any of those out. Before I go, let's do one poll for fun.